Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Life Should Not Be Mechanical, Swami Anubhavananda. So mechanical, repetitive, similar, the same, never changing maybe? Let's go get started.
He says, Swamiji, tell me what happens after death? I said, I have no experience, so can I tell you?
Ooh, sorry to pause right then and there. This is a bit odd. I'm trying to think this as many ways as possible. My initial thought is, don't believe in reincarnation? But then maybe it's more along the lines as in he does believe in reincarnation, but he just doesn't remember. So what he means by he has no experience, as in he doesn't remember or doesn't know. I don't know. I mean, he's Hindu, so I do believe he believes in reincarnation. But for me, if I were to be asked, what happens after death, and I believe in reincarnation, so I'm trying to think like I believe in it. What would I say if I do? Well, for me, it would be I would say it's like a new body. Where I say your memories is all in your mind. Your mind is physical. It's your memories are chemical reactions. So your memories are never passed along, but your karma, you could say, is passed along. So while you may have no memory of what you did in the past, your karma will follow you. So, and I will say two different kinds of karma. Karma is in your genetics, because that will follow you. The bad habits that you do in the past, your parents and all that follows you throughout. If your father or mother has diabetes, you're probably going to have it too, maybe, or high blood pressure. Because karma is, Sadhguru said karma is in your genes as well, and I do believe that. I see those as interchangeable. It's not to say that karma is only that. I believe also in karma as in how you interact with people. If you're bad towards someone, eventually that person may get revenge, like either not hire you if he happens to be your boss one day, or maybe when you need help, he won't help you. Karma. But anyways, interesting. He said he has no experience. So for me, in that sense, it's that either we have no memory of our past, or he doesn't believe it, which I don't think that's the case. And more than likely, he's joking along the lines of the fact that I haven't died yet, so I have no experience of it. But if you believe in reincarnations, then we all have experienced death and rebirth, because that is in fact what happens in reincarnation. Let's see what he says.
No, 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 please tell me what happens after death. I said, when you are alive, has anything happened? No. So after you die, others will be happy. Thank God. So make others happy. Don't talk about death. Think about living. And when you are living, you are learning. See? You see the child, how busy he is learning. And in that learning process, he doesn't go and ask anybody. He has his own techniques. The best example you can think of, your children, grandchildren. Where a child is born, he is on the back. And he looks around. Hey, all the people are moving here, and how come I am here only? So he keeps on observing how they are moving. Oh, they are moving with the legs. Okay, I will also do. And then he starts moving his legs. Come on, I am here only, I am not moving. Something wrong somewhere. Again he observes, then he turns. And then he starts on his stomach like a snake. But even then I am not able to go fast as they are doing. Then again he thinks, and again comes on the knees. Then they are also not good. Then he stands with support. No child asks his mother, Mummy, Mummy, when you were a baby, how did you learn walking? Did they ask? They learn. See? Be attentive. And one day, the child takes one step. independent of support, and falls. Imagine, because the child has fallen after taking one step and he stops learning, will he ever be able to walk? Don't give up. Don't give up. Learn something new. And for that is the upasana. And when you do upasana, your mind becomes disciplined and goal oriented. So when you are chanting the Lord's name in upasana, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. While you are chanting this thing, you have not done what I am going to tell you. We only mechanically chant. Take the mala in the hand. If they are chanting Gayatri Mantra, Gayatri Mata says, is he calling you? No, no, he's not calling me. And then it becomes an abbreviation. Om Bhurvus Om Bhur. Because it is done mechanically. Be very attentive. Anything you do mechanically, you lose the charm of life. Never do anything mechanically. See, for the first time, when you learn driving on a motorcycle and you go here and there, you are enjoying, is it not? Afterwards, your wife tells, take him to the school, take her to the hospital. Don't ask me to drive motorcycle, I'm fed up. Because it has become no mechanical. Exactly this is what happens. When you do chanting, it becomes mechanical. And therefore, you lose charm in chanting the Lord's name. Then what is to be done?
Interesting. I figured mechanical would be the thing because it becomes something familiar. Mechanical is repetitive. It's comforting to some degree, as in that it doesn't change. It's the same, it's reliable. And by doing so, hopefully you become relaxed and not bored. Because that's the point of meditating, I believe, in a way, that everything becomes calm, familiar, so you can relax. If things are chaotic, you can't really relax, can't really meditate. By things becoming mechanical, it becomes familiar, becomes order, becomes order, not chaos. It's familiar, it's reliable, meaning that it doesn't change, meaning that you can expect it to be the same for however long you're doing this for. Because imagine you're sitting in a room and you meditate. You hear all the familiar sounds, nothing different. Then all of a sudden you hear a different sound, a sound that you never heard before. That will snap you out because you're like, that's not familiar. What's going on? Something out of the ordinary is happening. I would assume. So I think mechanical, I would assume that's a good thing to get you into a meditative mindset or mood.
Now try to do it now, in your mind, don't do it loudly. Whatever is your mantra, chant slowly and keep that experience with you. Then I will do second experiment. Do it for next 1 minute. Chant your mantra or Lord's name for 1 minute in your mind. Now you have the data of experience, whatever experience you had. Now add one more parameter. You chant in your mind and you hear whatever you are chanting. Do it and then I'll explain.
I am not sure what he means by that. I'm gonna rewind it real quick just to have him say it one more time.
You chant in your mind and you hear whatever you are chanting. Do
How?
it and then I'll explain.
Let me know if you guys can do that. What do you mean? Hear what you're chanting in your mind. You're always, in a sense, hearing it, right? Hmm.
Now, this also experience you have, your personal experience. Now see the difference between. When first time you are chanting, it was mechanically going on. But when you were chanting and you were hearing, then you were fully involved.
Oh, wait.
Whenever anything is done mechanically, mind's involvement is not required.
Does he mean like when you're chanting and you're saying the words, you're doing it out of kind of like instinct, like muscle memory? Like you're doing it like just saying the words as opposed to actually listening to the words, which he just said. So basically, what you're doing is when you say the words, you're listening to your own words, making sure that the words are correct, not just um, not just doing it because you have to do it, but doing it and then listening to make sure it's right. Whenever I say it that way, it makes sense now because I was like, obviously you do like Om, then instead of saying the words, whether it's correctly or slightly incorrectly, but the idea is still there. Now you're saying the words, but you're being more attentive to, like, is this the right way to pronounce it? That's kind of weird. Is that what he's saying essentially? So you're more attentive of the words that you're saying as opposed to it just being a a phrase to say.
We have been eating food in our whole life. Do we require any involvement? It straight away keeps on going. Without, but it is dark. How will I see my mouth to put the food inside the? No need, because it is mechanical process. See, friends, life should not be mechanical. And when this is happening really, what happens inside? Now learn that. Chanting is Kriya Shakti, the power of action. And listening is Jnana Shakti, the power of knowledge. When both of them, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti, when they are together, that is called as awakening of Kundalini. See, friends.
Talking about the mouth example, about the mechanical process of it. You don't see it going in your mouth. How will I know I'm putting it in there? The example I was thinking in my mind is like, imagine you working on your homework or project and you're eating chips or something, and then you're doing your work and or watching TV, watching a show and you're eating something. Where you're so focused on the show that and then you look down at your food and you're like, oh my gosh, I ate it all. I wasn't supposed to, but it was just in a sense instinctual, because you're more focused on what you're watching than what you're actually doing with your hand. Perhaps, and this is what I was getting at, where you're more attentive of what your hand is doing because you're like, I grabbed 3, put it in my mouth, grab 4, put it in my mouth, kind of like that, where you're more attentive of what you're doing with your hand. You're more attentive of what you're saying, as opposed to it just being natural or mechanical, as he says. Is that what it means? It's very strange, though, to be, because you tend to, at least I think if I were to do this, I'd be too focused on what I'm doing or what I'm saying, as opposed to trying to clear my mind. But I guess that could go to another method where, instead of trying to draw a blank mind, where you focus on a tune, something, a mantra, and then you tune everything else out. You're so focused on your mantra, and then all of a sudden you kind of tune that out as well. I've heard some people, when they meditate, they do the bowl with the noise, and they focus on the noise. It helps drown out everything else being drowned out, to the point where once everything's drowned out, you also drown out the noise that's made, kind of like the mantra. I wonder if that's the method he's trying to teach there, as opposed to being mechanical, where I guess another method, as in you focus on the noise or the sound, and then you focus, you drown everything else out but the sound, and then drown out the sound. But then again, he's talking about life itself. I keep thinking of meditation. Life should not be mechanical. Oh, okay. I think I get the title now. But essentially, what you're doing in life should not be boring. You should be involved in it. You should be attentive in the actions that you do, as opposed to just going through life like a robot. Get up, go take a shower, go brush my teeth, go to work, eat lunch, go back to work, go home, take a shower, go to sleep, get back up, take a shower, brush my teeth, go to work, eat lunch, go back to work, go home, take a shower, go back to sleep. Mechanical. Your body is just not acting, but just going on, kind of like an auto drive. Auto drive. Auto drive? That's not the right word, is it? Anyways, you understand what I'm saying. Is that it's just, everything is just on automatic, where your brain is just taken out of the equation, and everything's kind of mundane. But life should not be like that, mechanical. You should be more involved in life. But it's kind of hard, I guess, if your job is not very fulfilling, or if you struggle with, I won't say enlightenment, that's not the right word, but struggle with being content. Perhaps that's the right word. If you're enlightened, then you wouldn't have any issues with life, but you can be content with aspects of life. Your job it may be very boring and mundane, but you can be very well content and can do it with no problems, and being very much involved without being bored. Things around your house or in your life, whatever aspect of your life is, could be the exact same thing, where you're like, oh, I have to go visit my family, go say hi, go back home. Next week, go back to my family, go say hi, go back home. It could be very much more involved, where you're not seeing it as a chore, but seeing it as something that's happier, I suppose. It's really, I don't know what the phrase to say, contentment, I suppose. That's the best way to do it, but it doesn't sound appropriate. I'm content with seeing my family. Anyways, that's my reaction to life should not be mechanical. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down, down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.